Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is at long last time for me to bid a not-so-fond farewell to the era of single-core computing and enter the new frontier of quad-core computing. Alright, is that geeky enough for you? Alright, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's build the new computer today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Okay, so as I mentioned a few parts ago, we will be reusing the compact case, but we're not going to be getting into that just yet, because there's a few other things we need to do with this stuff first. In addition to that, we will also be reusing two IDE hard drives, 200 gigabytes apiece, and just to sort of have as a spare, and so I'm not constantly using the new drive, my old DVD burner. Okay. So, first things first, we're going to need some tools. I'll be right back. Okay, so we shouldn't actually need too much stuff here. So we're just going to move these drives out of the way first, because the first thing we want to do is a couple of things with the motherboard. Before we even put the motherboard in the case, there's a few things I want to do. For one thing, I want to make sure that it's actually going to fit in the case. So let's just move everything out of the way. Move the CPU and power cable and IDE cables. Okay. So the nice thing about the compact cases is they're really easy to open. I think I showed you this before. You basically have one screw, which you don't even need any tools for. You just unscrew it with your hand, and there you go. Pops right off. Couldn't be easier than that. Okay, so this is actually a micro ATX case. There are a few cables here that we'll need to deal with. This one actually goes to the power button on the front, so that'll plug into the motherboard. And then here we got some for the front audio, FireWire, and USB ports. I don't actually know if I'm going to be able to hook up the front FireWire port. I'm going to see if maybe I can use one of the USB ports. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, the motherboard actually goes right here on this panel here. Just make sure. I cleaned it all out earlier, but you know, there's always a few nooks and crannies where dust bunnies like to hide. Okay, so first things first, we're just going to open up the motherboard case here and take a look inside. Oh, this is very nice. Oh, okay, I see. They actually gave us a new IDE cable, or IDE ribbon cable, which is good, because so I'm sure you can tell these have been around the block a few times, so I have no objection to replacing those. And then we have the back panel, which doesn't appear to have any labeling on it. I'm assuming there's a sticker or something in here. Oh, here we are. We have the AMD 785G chipset support thingy, which is basically a disc, and there's actually a panel sticker on the front that you can put on your case if you want to say powered by ASUS. So that's entirely up to you. So we got our instructions here, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. And then here, which one do we have here? This looks like serial ATA. Yeah, so we got a serial ATA cables here, which is great. And then, very carefully, lift this out. Alrighty. So here we go. And always make sure to have some, like, you know, I find using the case is good. Just discharge your fingers every so often. I'm really paranoid about static shock and static electricity getting onto the board. So I always make sure to discharge myself before I touch anything electronic. And you'll find I do that repeatedly over the course of installation. Okay, so here we have the motherboard. Oh, it's so pretty. Alright, so we're just going to take a quick peek here just to make sure that it's going to fit. If it doesn't fit, this is going to be a really short video. Okay, so we'll move this out of the way for now. Bring this in. And these cables out of the way. I'll just basically just want to just fit here. There we go. Take a look. And bingo! Perfect fit. Excellent. Okay, so that's all we needed to know. Now, before we actually install the motherboard into the case, there's a couple of things I wanted to do. It's harder to reach certain areas of the motherboard when it's in the case, but if it's out in the open here, we can play around with it a little more. So I'm just going to close this box up here so we can use it to set the motherboard down on. Just do that. Okay. Move this over. All right. Let's see how this works here. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? So it looks like I've never actually taken a CPU out of one of these newer boards before. So you see it actually has a little lever that that sort of unlocks it, and then put it down, and then you lock it down and you have the CPU. Okay, so first things first, let's get the CPU in there. I just got rid of my... Yeah, I'll be right back. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, this is something I've really been looking forward to, getting into the whole quad-core world. I've been rocking a single core the entire time I've been on YouTube, so this really is going to be opening up a whole new world. Okay, what do we got here? Wow, does that include? I think it actually includes a cooling unit. We might actually keep that other one on hand to the side there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the brains of the computer right here. Discharge. I'm so paranoid of that. Okay, now which way? So I see there's here. Why don't we zoom in a bit here? Okay, so now that we're in a little closer, I can actually show you. You see this lever? You just bring that up, and then it you can see how it moves the thing back and forth. Yeah, so basically unlocked and then locked. So, okay. So I notice, discharge, I noticed that the CPU has little spaces on it that correspond to little blocks that are on there. So, of course, the reason for that being, that way there's only one way you can put the CPU in. So this is pretty straightforward. That's it. It just drops right in, and there's no other way for it to fit. So that is beautiful, and it's very loose, and it just drops right in. I mean, like, there's no effort there whatsoever, which is great. So then we lock that down, and we're good to go. Okay, so next, let's take a look at what's in here. It looks like it's actually a heat sink of some kind. I didn't realize that they included that in there. Oh, well, look at that. Right there. That is the cooling device right there. So apparently I didn't need to buy that big beast. I could have spent it on something else. Yeah, I think I'll actually just go with this one because it's smaller and won't take up quite so much space. Plus, that way I can just hang on to the other one as a backup, or if I get a second computer at some point, which I'd really like to do, I can use that. Now, the big question now, of course, is thermal paste. Just looking at the instructions here. Ah, here we are. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Thermal interface material is... Okay, well, it's a good thing we're actually not going to use this one, because apparently using this one will void the warranty. Yikes. Yeah, we don't want to be doing that anytime soon. So it says, blah, 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 use only the heatsink or fan. Provided use of any other heatsink or fan will void the warranty. Okay, so we will stick with the one provided. it. See, the only reason I bought an external one is because, like a third-party one, is because I didn't actually know that AMD included one in the processor. So good to know. It says never use the processor without the heatsink or fan installed. Yeah, you can look up videos on YouTube where people take the fan and heatsink off, and the processor literally melts down within seconds. It's ridiculous. Never handle the processor by the pins. We did not. We just handled it by the sides. Read and follow the instruction. Blah, blah, blah. Incorrect installation may result in overheating or other damage to the processor that will avoid the warranty. Thermal interface material is required for all AMD processors. Use only the recommended thermal interface material for this processor. See thermal cooling guideline, blah, blah, blah. The heatsink fan provided with your retail AMD processor has pre-applied thermal interface material. Really? Oh, it does. Look at that. Actually, on the bottom there, you can see it. It has like a square of it. So we don't have to do anything. Wow. Big kudos to AMD. They could not possibly have made this easier. Okay, now the big important thing is, which way does this go? So it looks like it actually goes this way. Okay. Okay, so the handle side goes, and thermal grease has already stuck to it. Okay, alright, so we put this hook there, and this hook there. Why does it not appear to be locking down? This way? Oh, hold a second. There we go. You just have to be a little bit aggressive with it. Okay, so that does seem to be on pretty securely. And then we, and then there's just, turn it around a bit here. There's actually some pins on the side here that are specifically for the CPU fan, which obviously you want in there. Not much point if the fan isn't functioning now, is there? Alright, so that's it. So we got our CPU installed quite lovelily. Is there any way we can get this out of the way a bit? I guess it'll be okay if it's just kind of hovering there. Okay, then let's put our RAM in. And with RAM, you basically want to just pull the clips back. Pretty simple. And again, with any kind of chips, you really, I don't like to be touching the metal parts, so I only ever handle them by the plastic parts here. Now the nice thing about these RAM modules as well is they are slotted in such a way that they will only go in one way. There we go. There we go, and they just click right into place. So that's 2 gigs. Discharge again. I know I probably don't have to be discharging anywhere near as often as I am, but I do not want anything to go wrong with this system. Alright, so there we go. Gotta be a little bit aggressive with the RAM cards just because of the way they are. I think that's pretty much it. So now we can actually put it into the case. So just be a moment here. I'm just going to put all this other cooling fan stuff away again. But we will keep this as a backup in case we ever want to, you know, go nuts with cooling. Okay. Well, it's really handy that it actually came with the heatsink, I gotta say. Oh, yeah, and there's another sticker you can stick on the front there if you want to. I'm not gonna bother with all the stickers. I know what's in there. Alrighty, so that's basically the long and the short of installing the CPU fan, heatsink, and RAM. We will continue this in part 2, where I'll actually put the motherboard into the case, and we'll put in the rest of the hardware. Well, it might be a couple of parts, just while we kind of figure out where everything goes and stuff like that. Alrighty, so until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara! New computer. Yay!